Hello loves, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a cord cutting spell. This is going to be part of the Dollar Tree spell series that we have on the channel, and I wanted to show you guys how to do the spell because this spell is something that you can do literally with just Dollar Tree ingredients. And I'm going to put a little bit of spin on it as well. So yeah, let's get started. So for this spell, I'm actually working with Santa Muerte for this spell, but you can, do the spell however it is that you choose to do it. I'm just going to be showing you guys how I am doing it. I am being slightly extra about it, but there's a reason why I'm doing the spell this way, because I do a lot of work with the lunar energies, and because this is technically a prerequisite to a spell that I'm going to be doing for the full moon in Aries this upcoming week, and the moon is currently in Pisces. This specific cord cutting that I'm doing works as, it doubles as a reading as well, and it also doubles as a sneak attack as well. It's kind of a couple of different things, let's just put it that way. But for our herbs, I have quite a bit of things in here. I have oregano, I have black pepper, I have onion powder, red pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, chili pepper, garlic, sea salt. I have like a ton of different spices in here, and the reason why I'm using this amount of spices, because usually for cord cuttings you can keep it kind of a little bit minimal, but the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I want this to be a little bit of a bomb kind of, and so I'm going to be using, instead of using sea salt, which is traditional, I'm going to be using pink Himalayan salt, because the full moon, because right now the moon is in Pisces, and I want this spell to be a little bit of, you don't see it coming. That's kind of the intention for this spell. This spell is very much tapped into the subconscious energies, and it has a depth of mystery to it. Like, I am setting the intention for this spell to go, without being able to get traced back to me either, but also for me to check on the energy between me and this person. So that's why I'm doing it this way. So I'm using all of these because all of these have properties of not only cleansings but hex breaking, protection, and kind of also hexing as well. So in a way, it being a very much a disruption with the cord cutting, but coming off as like, oh, it's like very almost like a little bit deceiving, like it's something that's a lot deeper, but it comes off as very like there is a gentleness to it. I feel like sea salt, while it's very neutral, it can be very clear cut and bold, versus pink Himalayan salt has a little bit of a sweetness to it, and I don't want it to be I don't want to come at this spell work specifically super aggressive about it, because I feel like cord cuttings can be very complicated sometimes. They can be very, like some people, like when you're doing a cord cutting spell, they can feel that as an attack on their own spirit, and they feel that as this happening. That's why you see a lot of cord cuttings kind of have issues with it, where the other person doesn't want to let go and they want to stay in the bond and all that stuff. But there are ways kind of around that, and this is kind of like my spin on it. That's basically what I'm going to explain it as. So I'm going to start by just taking some Florida water. This is optional, and I'm just going to cleanse my hands. Again, this is optional. I'm just doing this because I want to make myself ready for this, but you can do that in whatever way you want. So I take the Florida water in my hands, and then I hold it a couple seconds in front of my face and go over the top of my head. I already prayed to Santa Muerte to be present with me so that we can do this work together, and to protect the space, and I already set intention for what I'm doing. I'm going to be using a white candle and a black candle. Now, because the Dollar Tree doesn't sell these black candles, I am swapping this for one of the ones that I got from the Botanica. You can use both the white candles, but the reason why I'm doing this way in this video, because usually every single ingredient is from the Dollar Tree period. The reason why I'm doing it this way though is because we're gonna do the candle wax reading at the end, and I want you guys to visibly be able to read it with me, instead of it, sometimes it can, depending on how it comes up at the end, it can be a little bit complicated. So So I want you guys to be able to see it with me. So that's why we're doing it this way. So I hope that that makes sense. You would, if you wanted to do this with only Dollar Tree ingredients, you can totally do that. The pink Himalayan salt I got at the Dollar Tree. All of these herbs I got at the Dollar Tree. The twine I got at the Dollar Tree. Everything that I got, the pan I got at the Dollar Tree. Everything I got, I pretty much got at the Dollar Tree. So the only thing that I'm swapping out, because I want you guys to see the color so we can read the wax together, is a black candle. I hope you guys can understand why I'm doing it that way. It's mainly for you guys more than me, because I would be able to tell. With this spell, you want to make sure you're sitting in front of it the whole entire time, because you need to pay attention to how the candles, both candles, are behaving and all that stuff. Who cuts the cord first, all of that kind of stuff. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some pink Himalayan salt. This baby right here, I'm gonna take a chopstick and I'm just going to mix all of this goodness together. This is like all of the blends that I did. There's cinnamon in here too, because cinnamon is great for hex breaking. But I added quite a bit of oregano, because oregano is also really good for protection and cleansings as well. So I wanted to just give it that extra boost herbally, because I have quite a bit of peppers in here. So I wanted to add some ingredients that are also, you know, a little bit more earthy, but still pack that punch. Because again, I'm using the base of this whole entire spell is pink Himalayan salt, so I want to make sure that, you know, it's good to go. So mixing that together, mixing that together, mixing that together, mixing that together. Now, the reason why I'm doing it clockwise and not counterclockwise is because this is a spell that affects you and the person. So because you are doing a cord cutting spell, you are actively trying to do something for you, but you're also doing something to somebody else, but you want it to work for you. So that's why I'm doing it towards me instead of counterclockwise. While I am sending the direction to them as well, this is something that I want to make sure that it works for me mainly. Like I basically is kind of like telling someone like, F your feelings. I'm not gonna like concentrate this whole entire thing. This whole thing, it's not about you, it's about me. So that's why I'm doing it clockwise. And while I'm doing this, I'm just activating the herbs for what I want them to do. Just setting the intention for like the sneak attack, the sneak cord cutting that I want, for it to be powerful, for it to be for basically, this spell's a little bit of a ticking time bomb, to be honest, because it has like this illusion like of, you know, maybe it's a hidden thing with the pink Himalayan salt, but the inside of it, there's a lot going on with this. So I'm just mixing that in with intention. Okay, and now that that's mixed, you can go ahead and add the pink Himalayan salt. And then we're gonna mix that. You can add quite a bit of it. Like, you don't have to, like, you know, be really kind of modest about it. You can use quite as much of it as you can. The benefit of using a good amount of salt in this is that it provides a base. It doesn't stick to the pan either, so you can just cleanse the pan later on, and then, you know, use it later for a different spell, which is why I like love these type of pans. So yeah, just get some more salt in there. Okay, that's good. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to mix it. Okay, it's definitely looking the way that I want it to look. So the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and write the names of the people that I am doing this for. The white candle is going to be for me. And I am doing it away from me as well. So I got my name in there, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and melt the bottom of it and then just place it in here. Okay, so that's one. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other candle, but towards the other person. And I'm sending it to them. So I'm going to just go ahead and melt the bottom. Just want to give it a second to dry. I think I might redo this one. Yeah, sometimes you have to get it melted for a good minute before it like solidifies in there. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, let it dry first. Give it a second to like cool off. And while you're doing that, you could start measuring your twine. So you want to go around this twice. So let me just get the twine. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. Let me just cut it right there. So you're gonna want to go around it twice. If anything, you can cut it at the end, so it's fine. But you're going to go like about, I want to say, a finger's width from the top, not too low. Okay, there we go. So we got the base set up. We put it around twice, we knotted it, and now we are going to be putting our blend of sea salt. This is going to be the base of everything. I want you to think of this as like the lands, okay? The lands between, the distance between the people. Okay. I want you to think about like let's say this person lives in another state or another borough, whatever it is. Like, I want you to see this as the distance. I don't want you to think of them as being in your space, in your sacred space where they are and all of that. Like, I want you to like actually think about them being distant from you. Then you can kind of take your chopstick and just even it out a little bit. Okay, so this is how it's looking. I just finished lighting it. Now, it's really, really important for you to pay attention to the way the candles are moving, any type of kind of, especially in the beginning, but towards once it starts getting to the cord, how the candles are reacting, how the people are reacting. You want to see these two as people because that's what they are. They're representing people. You could have definitely coated this with different oils and stuff like that, but just keeping it very, very, very neutral because I want it to literally be the person. If you're doing this for yourself, you can also take like a little piece of your hair. Like, I always like save my hair, and you could just like put it in there to amplify like, this is me, this is who I'm doing this spell for. Let me just put that little bit in there. It burns off really quickly, but it just sets that intention of like, okay, this spell is for me specifically. So yeah, you could, this is a way that you can also use your hair for your spells in your witchcraft. So yeah, so I'm going to show you guys the transition, and then when we get to the cord, we can talk about what's going on with the cords and if it's working, if it's not working, what's going on with it, and all that jazz, and we'll go from there. So a couple things right from the beginning. You can tell that this person that I'm doing the cord cutting with, they're a little bit angsty about it, and this is why I wanted to use pink Himalayan salt, because I know how this person is, and if I didn't do it this way, it would just turn into like a more aggressive type of spell. And so I wanted it to be very sneaky, and so they are already spiritually angsty. So the base is going to help to kind of like neutralize some of that. And my energy is very much very stable. Like, you can see that I'm just kind of keeping it consistent with my energy, but maintaining my my energy, my stance. And that's another thing, when you're doing cord cutting spells, you have to maintain your stance. I don't know how many times I have to like say this. If you're doing a cord cutting spell for yourself, you need to maintain your stance throughout the whole entire thing. If you feel like you don't want to do it, or you're not trying to do a cord cutting with a person or whatnot, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. The best thing that you can do is make sure you this is one of those spells that you have to do when you are absolutely sure that you need to do it, and that you are going to stay grounded the whole entire time. So I'm very much feeding my candle with my energy, and you can tell this person is very angsty. You can tell this person is very, very angsty. So we will see how it continues to go, and yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on the fun stuff. And yeah, so the other thing that I want you guys to pay attention to is who's burning faster. Okay, these candles are the same exact size, and you can see that for mine, it still has a little bit on the top, that little kind of pyramid top, and this one already pretty much finished with that. It's starting to just be at the base level. So it's really important to pay attention to who's burning faster, because you can kind of sense the person's energy that way. Like I told you guys, my energy is very, very stable, very, very grounded, versus this person's energy, which is kind of like very anxious, very kind of goes in and out, back and forth. So you have to definitely pay attention to those context clues as well. If at any point you want to check who has the strongest energy and you do energy work, if you don't do energy work, you might struggle with this, but if you do energy work, you'll be able to feel it. So just put your hand behind the candle of the candle that you're trying to check, the person that you're trying to check. This is energy, and you just leave it there for like about 5 seconds. You'll start feeling that person's energy and intention for it. And you can do the same thing for the other side, so you can kind of check how the other person is taking it, how the other person's energy is. You can do an energy reading this way as well while the candle and everything's like burning. Another detail that I want to mention is, if you see up here with the way I've been burning versus the other person, they're about to overflow on themselves. Mine is very much like a little bowl. And I haven't had any type of teardrops yet. This teardrop happened over here because I had to light the candle a little bit longer for this one. So that I know is not in relation to the spell work, but they're going to be overflowing soon. Meanwhile, I am still unbothered as hell. I'm just saying. The other thing that you want to pay attention to is who's getting to the rope faster. If you can see on this side, the rope is very, very close to being lit. While on my side, I am still pretty chill. I'm chill. I'm sitting chill, knowing that, you know, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But this is about to light any second now, because it's still going down. So there was a tear that just happened right back here, and there are still no tears happening on my side. So tears help you to understand the emotional component, really the emotional mental health that this person is in. When taking in this spell is something that's going to be very emotional for them to deal with, and is going to have a lot of emotional consequences. Also, I just want to note that where the tear falls in the circle of the thing, so if you look at the whole entire pan, where in the direction that the tear falls tells you a lot about how they're going to perceive this specific spell. Because remember, I set the intention for the spell to be very sneaky, and so it hasn't turned towards me in any way, which means that it's not something that is seen coming. And that's like the point of why I'm doing it this way as well, so just keep that in mind. And we are off. Literally just happened while I was filming the last clip, but here we go. And that is one. So you see how this is turning into 2. You have to pay attention to every single thing about it. This person is very self-destructive, and you can tell, and literally I was just like, bye. which is literally what I intended for this spell. So far so good, y'all. But you see how this is just turned into like 3 different flames? Do you see that? Do you see how it just turned to 3 different flames? Like, this person is very chaotic, and this is why I wanted to do this spell this way, because they're a very toxic person, they're a very hateful person, they're a very complicated person, but they are the type of person that they destroy other people. They're very self-destructive to other people, and that's just how they move. They're very, very self-destructive. But you see how they're just consumed by their own bullshit. Look at how high that thing is. Meanwhile, I'm still over there chilling, minding my goddamn business, as I should be. Because that's basically the point. That's why I did this. I wanted this to be exactly that. So you see how it went to the core? Like, the whole candle done melted in front of my face. This is where we're at. This person's getting 8 from internally. But you see how they're trying to still come towards me? You see this? Yeah, self-destructive people are always trying to do this shit, so I'm not really surprised. But I'm just gonna let it continue to burn, and I'm gonna update you guys as it goes. Okay, so she's still going psycho, because you know, psycho people will do what they will do, but I'm still chilling, cool and collected over here, you know, just being alive. And this person is just a hot mess, because this person in real life is a hot mess. They're all over the place. But they have a lot of issues, so I'm not surprised they're behaving like this in here. But if you take a look at like even the shapes, what do you see? Let me know in the comments what you see. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I see, because I don't want you guys to, you know, I want you, I'm trying to test you guys intuitively. I want you to tell me what it is that you see. What do you see in okay, fine, I'm gonna tell you. That looks like a cat. Do you see that? It literally looks like a cat. And she's gone. Still trying me, but that's just gonna die off soon. But she's gone. Spell successful, but that is a cat right there. Now, I recently told you guys that Luna became one of my spirit guides. And one of the things within our meditations that she said was that she's spiritually, not physically bound. So she's manifesting in full fast form now, spiritually speaking. So you guys remember that scene from Black Panther where she's like, in the beginning of the movie, where it's like Bass comes through to give them the plant. It's on that huge type of level. That's why it's that big. It was like, no, she's snuffed out. So spell successful. I'm just waiting for this little twang to die off. But yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. But I hope that you guys are enjoying the spell so far. I feel like it's a really fun spell to do. Core cuttings are just a fun time, because you get to really see your relationship with other people and stuff. But you also get to do a lot of healing and just protection with it as well. But yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying it. And it's gone. Goodbye. Update. I still haven't shed any tears or anything. And I am still, you know, nothing, basically. I'm just doing my thing. But you see how, even though this is the shape of a cat, right? You see how the rope goes through the mouth, then it goes through the eyes, and then it curves in. This was not only mal de ojo, but there was a lot of things said. There was a lot of verbal things said, but it just curves out. So it's like it doesn't get to me. So it's like no spell that she's gonna do is gonna get to me, which is great, because I told you she's one of my spirit guides now. She's gonna be blocking that. So the situation is very, very like wow to me. So the candle is done. This was me. I literally was just unbothered as hell, y'all. Listen. and this was the other version. I think it's we kind of went over reading the candle wax. You can see how it kind of went down. I completely just, my candle completely just disappeared entirely, like I just did my own thing. And we can see what happened here. But I hope that you guys learned something, and I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that you do this spell work when you feel like you need to do a cord cutting. And yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the Patreon. Don't forget to or if you want to be a channel member, the join button will be next to the subscribe button. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you loves in the next video. Bye.